All right, man. Let's talk about Terence Crawford response to Errol Spence saying that he fight nobody, and that's seemed to be Errol Spence's battle cry um, for this fight, and it was his battle cry to try to avoid this fight as well. If you remember, you know what I'm saying? That was his battle cry. You know, that's what he was saying. You know, oh, he ain't fought nobody. You got to get his numbers up and all this type of stuff. So, you know, Terence Crawford sat down with Brian Custer once again, and he responded to that. And, you know, and I just thought it was, you know, the ability just to want to sell the fight. That's what I thought it was. But then once the fight is, or to make, you know, to avoid making the fight when the fight is made, he keeps saying that. So I don't know if he's trying to get the betters on this side. I don't know if he's trying to hype himself up. I don't know if he believe it or not. And even if he uh believe it or not or don't believe it, it's just to the point where um it don't matter right now. If you prove it in the ring, then you can be like, I told y'all, man, he ain't fought nobody. Then you can go ahead and make you can make your declaration that he ain't fought nobody. You just proved it. But you continue to holler and scream it and hoopla it. I mean, what good does it? What good does it do? What good is it doing? You know, is it to hype you up? Is it to hype him up? I don't, or to try to just get inside his mind. I don't know. I don't know if he on this Houston shit and the mind playing tricks on. He trying to get his minds to play tricks on him. You know, but usually at this, you know, top 1% of the division, that tends not to happen or not to work. Um, but Bud on critics said he ain't fought nobody. He said Crawford put it plain and simple. I feel like Roy Jones when they said he wasn't fighting nobody. So and Roy went through that. Let's not forget that Roy went through that. What's so funny? Roy is just asking, can Terence Crawford take Errol Spence punch? You know, and that seemed to be the number one question about it. And you know, I think it go both ways. You know, I think it go both ways, but I think it's a bigger question because people feel like Errol Spence is Errol Terence Crawford is a smaller guy, so they go hand in hand. But Roy Jones went through the same thing for sure. Roy Jones went through the same thing throughout his career, and where you know people asking the ability of the guys that he fought. That's one of the reasons he broke away from his father, because his father didn't want him to step it up like he wanted to step it up. His father had a plan that was slow cooking, and Roy was ready to step it up. You know, and that's essentially kind of what happened. Roy was ready to step it up, and his father wasn't ready for him to step it up. So you know he had to do what he had to do. He had to let his dad loose. You know, then he went on a spree of stepping it up. You know, he beat James Tony. You know, guess what they did when he beat James Tony? Oh, you know, he destroyed James Tony, outpointed him, or James Tony was drained. But you got to understand what you got to understand too is that he never really signed with a major promoter. So he had direct deals with HBO and whatever networks. I believe mainly HBO. He had direct deals. So without that promoter, Roy Jones never got as big as he should have got. And his documentaries and this stuff, you know, pretty much detailing that and stuff, right? But he said Crawford obviously disagrees, and Crawford says the same accusations was a hurdle that the great Roy Jones, a man who looked all untouchable in the '90s and early 2000s, like Superman. Crawford's make him look like nobody. Nebraska said, he said, I feel like Roy Jones when they said he wasn't fighting nobody. He said, I ain't fighting nobody. He said, I ain't fighting nobody. He just said, I just make him look like nobody because every time I fight somebody, they got something negative to say after the fact. Crawford said, but prior to be, I think prior to me fighting them, it's a whole lot of I don't know if Crawford ready for this guy. It's too big for him. This guy's fought this guy He's got a better resume. You hear a lot of things, but after the fight, you hear he was nothing. He was washed, and that's called moving the goalposts. And that's one thing that social media has, been, a huge part of the destruction of boxing. That's part of the huge destruction of boxing. That's become a huge part of the destruction of boxing. A huge part, you know. And and that's why you see Canelo do what the hell he want to do, and move how he want to move. That's why Canelo be like, F all this. Because no matter what I do or how I fight them or how I destroy these guys, y'all always got some bull job to say. Social media is unfulfilling, bro. That's why you got to keep your relationships, you got to keep your personal business off social media, because it's built to destroy it. It's built to destroy. It's built to destroy happiness. It's built to everybody to ridicule accomplishments. It's built for people to ridicule your shortcomings like they ain't never been through something. You got people on social media who got $1 billion taste, but eating off the, Burger King value menu. So that's why you gotta watch what you use social media as. I just use it as a networking tool to keep up with old college buddies at some point, or to expand my business. That's it. And a little bit of entertainment. I don't measure myself with what people say. I don't get into the trolling and all that, bro. You got to understand, my generation is the first generation to hop into social media shit. So we had to learn what the rules were. And a lot of people still learning what the rules are, especially these rappers and these musicians showing their business on social media. Everybody, everybody can see everything. And you can use that as fuel. You can ignore it and keep it moving. You can use social media and internet as a tool for remedies and supplements and health. It's a lot of things you can lose it for. The choice is yours. Crawford expects to hear a lot of things after he defeats Spence, with his critics saying Spence 28, no, 22 wasn't all of that. He said, when I fought Sean Porter, everyone was saying, oh, Bud too little. Sean gonna rough him up, or Bud's not on that level. He ain't fought nobody. But now after I fight Sean, it's, oh, he's watched his dad called the fight. Porter's retired already. I hear a lot of things. So July 29th, I'm gonna hear a lot of things as well too. And you're right. They gonna move the goalposts again on Spence. It ain't like I said, it just gotta be a satisfaction and you beating the dog walking shit out of them. And like I said, I like what Fulton said about Inoue. He said, I'm going over there fighting Inoue for myself. He said, I'm going to do it for myself. That's what he said. I'm going to do this for me. Nobody else. Because when you do shit for the fans and you give shit for the fans this generation, it ain't good enough. It ain't good enough. It ain't good enough. So that's what you got to understand. When you try to do things for these fans, all they do is continue to move the bar, especially if they don't like you. But then they want to, they want to move the bar a lot for guys who they like, who ain't did a lot. It's a nut hugging. It's a nut hugging fest, and that's exactly what boxing has become. It's a nut hugging fest. You know, and that's just what it is. So, but he already know the play, but he's just trying to stamp himself in the history. But if Errol beat Bud, all that shit that he was saying, they go out the window. Mark my words, they go out the window. They go completely out the window. Oh, Bud was a great fighter. He was a 3 division champion. He was lineal in 2 divisions. He stopped everybody. Look what Errol did to him. You know how it go. You know how the game go. You know exactly how the game go. You know that bar is gonna move significantly. We know that bar is gonna move significantly. But at least they know what's up. At least they ain't living in a fantasy world. At least they ain't living in the fantasy world. And sometimes that's all you can ask. You know. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video financially. Want to support the channel? Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. The whole nine, man. I'm literally everywhere else. Hit the link tree. You can literally, you literally can find me everywhere, man. So I appreciate y'all. Um, for supporting the channel, for holding me down. Check out the Box News playlist. Don't forget, you literally can find this interview on the Last Stand podcast. Like just less than 15 minutes long too. So go check it out. Peace.